I think the two questions that I asked really about when you decided to reform Switch in its modern guise. How did it? What was who came up with the idea? Who did you call when you wanted to bring back the group? Because it's
Right. Well, Philip, well, we'd always been in touch with each other anyway, all through the years. Even though I moved to New Jersey, Eddie moved to Las Vegas. Philip and Eddie both got married, and stuff like that. But we were always in touch. We were brothers. That was the thing, the thing that I said. We were brothers. And we
mm,
stayed in touch, all of us, all those years. So finally, after I moved back to California, in fact, putting Switch back together is what prompted me to move back to California and leave SWV and leave the other folk. But when I moved back to California, me and Philip started hanging out even more. And I say, Philip, this is impossible. And I'm managing L now.
mm.
And so I'm dealing with all kind of agents and all kind of promoters. And they say, well, when you bring in Switch, when you bring in Switch. And I can do this for Switch. And so I just called the guys and they just came. And even to this day, fortunately, I still got Eddie. I still got Philip. I've got Michael McGlury, who was the original guitar player on. That's him on They'll Never Be and all that. I
Mm.
got Michael McGlury, and I got a couple other guys to fill in. Somebody fill in for Bobby, somebody fill in for Tommy, and we're good.
What about Jody?
When Jody went off, he kind of left the business. When I first tried to put the group back together, I tried it in 1996, and Jody didn't want to do it from there. So I kind of let it be. Philip and Eddie both came with me, and we did what we did, and didn't feel right, so I left it alone. So then in 2003, when I put it back together, Jody wasn't feeling it then. Now it may be a different story because we're all still close and we all still talk. And
Okay.
Eddie and Jody live in Las Vegas and they get together from time to time. So I don't outrule it. I don't outrule Jody in the future, God willing. But yeah, those three are committed. Plus, Jody had not been active in music. Jody went off and wound up being executive at AT&T.
Wow.
While Philip stayed active in music, Eddie stayed active in music, I
Okay.
stayed active in music. So
Okay. It makes a difference. So, what's how are you guys? Do you have anything scheduled now, and how often do you guys get to perform so people can look out for you?
absolutely. Okay, our next date, in fact, we're playing in Oakland, California on April 18th. And
Okay.
that's going to kick off our year for the most part. That's the first date this year. And there are other dates. We're doing a city winery tour. We did one last year. Actually, ironically, man, and I get excited about it because we hadn't taken out a tour bus since 1981. But we had a 6-night run here in the States, city wineries.
Wow.
So I went and got a bus for us, a sleeper bus. We were on that sleeper bus. For 7 days, we were on that darn bus. Man, it's the most fun I've had in years. It was difficult. It was difficult because we're old men now, riding
Yeah.
on a, but it was a bus. It was 12 bunks. It was a lounge in the back of the bus. It was a lounge in the middle of the bus and televisions and everything. So it was cool, man. It was cool. So we're going to do it again this year. We're going to get on the tour bus again this year. I'm just waiting on the dates to line up that I need. And then we're
Okay.
going to do that.
I- I've did City Riley's take over from House of Blues? Is that because they everyone's? It seems as if for R&B, that seems to be a lot of place where R&B acts
You
go.
want to know something? I mean, I hadn't thought about it in those terms, but House of Blues, that term and their volume of clubs is winding down while Winery is coming up. So yeah, I would dare say it is.
Okay.
Except I think House of Blues catered to a bigger audience, a
Okay.
larger audience. City wineries, they have from maybe 150 seats to 410 seats.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
around the country. But they're nice, they're intimate, and it's really a nice thing to do. I
Yeah.
enjoy it. I enjoy it.
Can we just talk about Switch, DeBarge, Motown, and Me? When did the idea come to write the book?
Okay, first of all, when I was a kid, man, I was an avid reader. I would read anything I could get my hands on.
Wow.
So through reading, I learned how to articulate. I wound up learning how to be a storyteller. It just happened. And I've always wanted to chronicleize my life and tell my life story. And believe it or not, this has been a up and down wonderful journey with a bunch of tears and a bunch of anguish and a bunch of joy and a bunch of we did that.
Mm.
And I figured I need to document this. I need to put this down. Let me tell you this. It's funny though. So when things wind down for Switch, things wind down with L, things wind down for Greg, and I'm looking for my next place to go. I wound up going back to school because I left college to join
Yeah.
White Heat
Yeah.
in 1973. At 50 years old, I wound up going back to college. I
Wow.
did wind up getting my associate's degree in English. And to use that, I figured, okay, Greg, it's time to write your book. So I started writing and keep writing and do a little bit here and a little bit there. It actually took me 7 years to put this book together.
Wow.
And believe it or not, when I finally decided, okay, I'm going to put it out, Switch also dropped a new single. It was May of 2019. We had a record we were going to put out, and I decided to do this book. So of this book, it's 546 pages long. But I had over 700 pages of stuff. So I had to go back and figure out where to cut it and
Wow.
what not to use. So now that I figured out, okay, I'll end the book when we leave tour and Switch disbands. Just before Total Experience. That's where the book ends.
Okay.
But now I'm halfway done with book 2, and
Wow.
that's where it picks up. Because I had 186 pages to start with left over.
Yeah.
So now the other half is there.
Wow. Goodness. When did it initially come out?
Again, May 2019.
And how has been the reception? I mean, what's been the
Oh
reception?
my God. To be honest with you, man, first of all, I did a self-published deal with Amazon. So it was a self-published, self-promote deal. I've sold well over 100,000 copies of the book
Wow.
in that 5-year span. And not only that, man, Amazon has this review page. There are at least 25 reviews on my book in Amazon. Anybody can pull it up and go take a look at it. Just pull up the review on that book. Of those reviews, only 2 of them I don't like. Okay, the majority of them are 5-star reviews. They really say a lot of wonderful stuff about that book, which I appreciate because it lets me know I did something right, with this thing. And the 2 reviews that I don't like, I say, well, at least they paid for the right to have an opinion. So cool.
The
book,
yeah,
the
I
book has
never
done
understood.
well.
Well, congratulations. I guess that has now spurred you on that seems to be one of the benefits of for publishers, I guess, having something like Amazon where people they print on order, but it's also a worldwide platform. So that is something.
And for somebody like me, because I've already got a certain level of notoriety, I've already got a certain level of audience that wants to know what I'm talking about. So it works for a cat like me. I was offered a deal through a couple of publishers, legitimate publishers, mainstream publishers. But the deal that they offered me reminded me too much of the deal I signed with Barry White, where they get everything and I get nothing. But nope, I will not do it. I will not do
Oh
it.
my
And
God.
I will tell you this too. I'm still talking to 2 of the 3 offers I've got to turn this book into a movie. So we'll see if that happens too.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
I
they got
think
that crazy Bobby DeBarge story, and that's garbage that came out. They've got 2 unsung documentaries, which are accurate on us. And then they got this piece of garbage that they're trying to sell now, which I hope just dies in their lap.
yeah.
But the story needs to be told because it's a very interesting story, man. Very interesting story.
No, no, definitely. Especially, when you speak about how the chance meeting with Jermaine and his then wife, but also the whole thing with the lawyer and then Barry White, and it just seems like it's a movie, already made movie and stuff like that.
It is. It's even a movie to me, man. Come on.
Yeah. Did when Switch came out and was successful, did you ever run into Barry White years after?
Barry White and Jermaine were best friends. So the very first show, I mean, in fact, even before that, one of the times we're in the studio, we're working with Jermaine, and who should pop up but Barry? And immediately he recognizes me and Bobby. Because I used to go sit with Barry. when we were recording in the same studio. I'd go sit with him. And of course, who don't know Bobby? So it was on again. And Barry said to me, I knew I was going to see your black ass again.
But was all forgiven in a way, or?
Yeah, man, it wasn't no big deal. Come on. It was just part of, look, like I said before, too, you pay to go to college. You pay for your education.
Yeah.
And that's how I paid for mine, including not getting my credits for I Want to Be Closer, among other credits I should. I paid for this education. So fortunately, through management and through a continuation of Switch, I've been able to use that education.
Yeah.
So I'm just thankful, man.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of Halftime Chat. Please remember to subscribe, share, and comment. But most importantly, why don't you become a member of Halftime Chat? We've got amazing videos, amazing perks, and being able to support the channel. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take care.
I never participated in that category.
And somewhere in between
us for even loving us, on which I did miss you really.
What was it like growing up?
She's still making an impact on 4 houses down.
I have a couple of pieces.
trying to get this one and that one.
That works for you, but just for me,
No. Okay,
They don't understand what Jodeci's voice meant at all.